We are back with Bodybuilding with the Youngs. We are going to be talking today about the 5 top misconceptions people have during prep. First one, people think that they have more muscle than they actually have when they start prep. Go.
And I think that a lot of guys, well, even girls too, you know, when they first get this idea of bodybuilding, you know, they see the pictures of bodybuilders and stuff. And, you know, I don't think people really understand that you need to put on, you know, I've talked about this in previous episodes, but you need to put on the muscle, you know, before you decide to actually compete. So many people, especially guys, they come and, I put all this weight on, I'm 240 now. And, you know, you trim them down and they're down to 180, you know, and that just shows they had, you know, a lot less muscle than they think.
Yeah, I see this a lot too with girls that are thinking that they need to transition from bikini to wellness because they think they have more muscle, when in actuality their legs are just bigger in the off season because they have more body fat. That doesn't necessarily mean that when you diet down that you're going to have a sufficient amount of muscle to qualify for that division.
And I've seen that too. And it's not to be like, we're not trying to be mean, but like just because you're, you know, how you have big legs, that doesn't mean that you have muscular legs.
True.
You could just have, you know, a lot of body fat. You could just hold. That's where you hold a lot of body fat. And that's the case with a lot of women. Is they do hold a lot of body fat in their lower bodies.
And water.
And just because you're a thicker chick doesn't mean that you're going to strip down and you're going to have like these amazing quads and this nice ass under all that fat. Like you have to still put the muscle on under that fat. So when you trim it off, then the muscle's there to be revealed.
Absolutely. Okay, the second thing that I think that we should say is a misconception during prep is people think that they don't need to do any cardio. You see these coaches that post these genetic freaks that do, 10 minutes cardio hit, and then, maybe 5 times a week, or they post that their client had low cardio and high calories. That's not always the case. Sometimes you have to dig down and in order to get stage ready, get into the cardio, doing 2 hours.
Very, very rarely do you find someone that can only do like 20 or 30 minutes a day of cardio. I mean, it happens. I've had many clients that can do that. But those people, are genetically gifted when it comes to getting lean. Those people also often have a very hard time putting on muscle in the off season because it's so hard for them to put muscle on. So, you'll see these coaches and they're advertising these genetic freaks because we all do it. Let's be honest. Like you show your genetic freaks. Most coaches do. Let's keep it real. And, you brag about, this person did this on prep, but that's not your normal person. Normal people, they're usually going to have to push it pretty hard, and to get super shredded, if you want to have good, solid conditioning on stage, you're going to have to suffer. And that means, lower calories and, higher cardio. It's just how it is. So you can sit there and listen to all the bullshit from all these people that tell you that you don't need to do a ton of and show me their athletes, and I guarantee you they're probably soft. Or show me their own pictures, and I'll show you they're soft. Because it takes a certain mindset. I can't speak that enough to truly be able to get dug the fuck out and get peeled. I mean, it is not an easy thing to do. You're tired, you're hungry, you're irritable, and you still got to be a human being. So it's not an easy thing to do.
For sure. All right, third thing that is a common misconception in prep is a lot of people do this, and this drives me nuts, especially as also a posing coach, is people leave their posing to the very last minute, and they think that they can get away with just throwing together a routine at the end. Adam, what do you think about that?
Oh yeah, that's for sure. You get people and they get this idea they're going to compete in a bodybuilding show, and then they're hitting you up, a couple of weeks out from the show saying they need to learn how to pose. And it's like, if you stand, and that's when you're going to get exposed, because if you're at these shows and you're standing next to a dude that knows how to pose and you're just like posing like an idiot up there, it's going to make you look really bad. And one thing too is people don't practice posing enough on prep because it's hard, it's tiring, and it's exhausting, and you're already doing all this cardio and you're not eating much, so it gets exhausting. And but that's just one part of this that is a big aspect of it. You can't go on stage and pose like shit and literally make your good physique look like shit.
Yeah, you can come in looking awesome.
Vice versa, you can go and you could have a decent physique, and if you really know how to pose well, you can make your physique look really good.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
People just kind of discredit the importance of posing. They're so worried about how getting big, and how big they can get or whatever, and putting all this muscle on. But if you don't know how to present it right, you can make that, all that muscle kind of look like shit.
Well, and I think that there's also like a certain level of conditioning that you need to have for posing.
Exactly.
It's almost like it's separate, like version of cardio. Your body just needs to learn how to hold those positions and be able to breathe properly by keeping your waist tight. And a lot of people can't do that 2 weeks out from their show. You've got to start practicing that early on. And you should be practicing that through your off season.
You have to condition those muscles because you're holding those poses. Your body's not used to doing that. So you got to drill that into your body. So when you're on stage and, a lot of the time when you're getting judged, people will, there'll be a comparison, and the head judge will be, comparing, a couple people, and they're posing for a long time, and a lot of the time, like especially in the pro level, a lot of the time the judges are trying to break you up there, so they want to see you, hold those poses, and
it's true, they work you.
See you can hold those shots, and see who's really conditioned up there, and after you do a round or two, it really starts exposing who did their homework, and that's just one of the things that you guys got to remember to keep that conditioning with the posing in.
All right, number fourth thing is a lot of people think that they can get into a show by prepping themselves. And this is not necessarily the case, even at the amateur level, all the way to an advanced level.
Yeah, if you're going to prep yourself, there's some guys I know, a couple pros that I know that do it. But these guys are pretty advanced. I still don't think it's the smartest decision. If you want my opinion, I always think, another set of eyes is always really good to have. Because at the end of the day, this sport is about being judged by others. So you need to have other people's opinions.
Yeah.
Because it's not about what you see. Like, a lot of people, let's keep it real. There's people that they think they look fucking great, but they don't. And then you have the vice versa where people look like shit, but they look pretty damn good, but you're in your head, so a lot of time people can self-sabotage themselves. So, having a coach, allowing them to do their job, to do the thinking for you, and trusting them, that's going to really benefit you because you can eliminate all that stress.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with do the thinking for you. When you're prepping, and especially when you're trying to get to your very best, you're exhausted. The last thing you want to think about is how to tweak your plans.
And people are fucking crazy on prep. They
not me, but
she has her days. But no, for real though, people get cray-cray. Like they get in their head, they think they look like shit, and they don't. And that's why it's good to have a coach that you can trust. They can be like, look, you need to chill the fuck out.
True, very true. Okay, last thing to wrap it up for top 5 misconceptions is number 5. A lot of people that think that they get cheat meals when they're prepping. That's not necessarily the case. You might not be in shape enough to get a cheat meal. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm not giving you a cheat meal unless you are fucking shredded, or in some cases a guy's in pretty good shape and I feel like they need a little bit of a mental reboost, or if you will, so I'll use that as a way to give them something different. It's a little bit different, even if it's like some sushi or something. You're still going to a restaurant, you're still getting a little bit of a mental break, so sometimes I'll do that for guys, but a lot of the time, no, I don't give any cheat meals, because at the end of the day, you're competing, and if you want to be the best competitor you can be, you got to do what it's going to take to be that best competitor. And sometimes that doesn't mean getting cheat meals. Cheat meals only should be used as a weapon or as a tool, to help you. So not just because you're being weak because you're tired and hungry. That's just part of bodybuilding. If you can't handle being tired or hungry, then you're not in the right sport, because that's what this is about. At the end of the day, a lot of this sport is who is the most mentally tough person. And that's right. What it boils down to be honest with you.
Okay, guys, that was our top 5. Hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day.